Welcome to HempLogic Radio, where we attempt to sift facts from opinions in this upside-down world of industrial hemp.
Well, hey, it's HempLogic Radio. Welcome to the show. Today, we've got a special guest, Dr. David Galvez, Chief Science Officer and Strategic Planner in the Canadian Cannabis and Hemp industries. And he's here to discuss what's going on up north and what are some of the things the American hemp growers can learn from the mistakes and successes from the guys up north, eh? David, Dr. Galvez, how do you want me to introduce you?
David is fine. Thank you for having me, Corey.
David, yeah, thanks for coming on the show. How are you today? How's the weather up there?
Fine. This is Canada. We are always a little bit more rainy or colder than you are, but it's just great. Surrounded by forest.
Whereabouts in Canada are you?
BC. So I am legally obliged to don't complain about winter. The winter in BC is not real Canadian winter.
No, the guys up in a little farther up north and to the east, those guys are the ones with the really heavy winters.
Yes.
So you and I.
Yes, we are legally obliged to don't complain ever, especially in public.
Yeah. I think there was a big snowstorm just a month or so ago. Maybe it was 2 months ago. That was just running havoc through the Canadian provinces. It's pretty ugly.
It actually was like a week ago, Corey, and there were like places with 2 meters, whatever that is in Imperial, 2 meters of snow.
Holy smokes, yeah, that's 6 feet. That's a lot of snow. I know in Washington State, a big storm to come through, and it was 8 feet up in the mountains. That's a lot of snow. In a 24-hour period, that's a lot of snow.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about what you do up there in Canada, and tell everybody about what who you are and what you do.
I completed my PhD in plant physiology here in Canada at the University of Alberta. I moved into formulating nutraceutical products using plants with traditional botanical use. This is cava cava, Sclerio tortuosum, cat's claw, a lot of plants from the Chinese pharmacopoeia. And 3 years ago, it became very, very obvious to me that the mother of all traditional plants will become legal in Canada, and there was a really great opportunity to bring good science and the experience that I gained working with plants and manufacturing on their FDA and GMP compliance from other industries working with botanical products into the cannabis market. The process has been incredibly difficult because, right now everybody talks about GMP, but believe me, 3 years ago, in every single fair, every single symposium, you ask people, how are you producing? How are you securing that this will be properly manufactured? And the answer was always the same. This is the way that I have been doing it forever, and it's okay. We know better. So the process has been quite interesting and difficult and challenging. A little bit, this is the fall of you guys down south because you have such liberty to do so many things that we are not allowed to do here. So when
give me an example. Give me an example.
Well, you sell CBD.
Give us an example like that.
You sell CBD stuff with no major quality control in gas stations. For us, every cannabinoid.
At the gas stations? Are you talking about the gas station CBD?
Yes, so you sell everything, and you sell CBD pillows, and you have CBD everything, and the Quality of your cartridges, well, you know how the quality of your cartridges is. You just have a garage and some guy that uses a kind of gas of butane. You produce something, you put it into carts coming from China, and you sell it. You have a business. So everybody in Canada that was on the illegal market was expecting, like, why are we not selling shutter? Why are you asking me to put stainless steel everywhere? So it was a very strong crash course reality between what it was very obvious that was happening in down south with what we were allowing to be done here. And this comes very close home when we talk about hemp, because, well, Canadian hemp, our definition of hemp is completely different than yours. We have hemp in open fields, oceans of hemp, but all of them are grown for seed and fiber. If you grow hemp, regardless of how much THC it is there, if you grow hemp to produce derivatives, if you grow hemp for cannabinoids, and you want to sell flower because the cannabinoid content, or you want to sell the flower in order to produce CBD or CBD-containing products, you need to abide by the cannabis regulation. So by all practical purposes, hemp and cannabis is exactly the same plant as long as they have cannabinoids. There is a lot of things that are different. But the one thing that I really want to bring during today's conversation is this thing about vertical integration. Corey, I don't know how many companies needs to fail in Canada for people in the U.S. start to understand that vertical integration is a complete madness. Look, Corey, how long will it take me to become a successful, profitable, well-trained hemp grower? I have no experience growing hemp. How much money and years will it take me?
Oh, I think you could, by your third year, you'd just be getting to figure out, and that's depending on your scale. We talked about vertical integration. So.
And how much money?
Depending on how big you went, and that's so. When you talk about vertical integration, let's talk scale. So when I was talking to clients, and I would say, you need to be vertically integrated, and what do you mean by that? Meaning, if you're a small farmer and you've got 20 acres, you need to figure out, you need to be able to do it all. You're not going to make a very good living off 20 acres because you have to be vertically integrated. And what that is you have to be able to grow, you have to be able to sow your seeds, you have to get them planted, take care of those plants all year long, and then you have to get it harvested. Then once it's harvested and taken care of properly, now you need to extract it. And what does that mean? My knowledge base kind of stops at the edge of the field. So having someone like you on it that knows the next steps, but talking about vertical integration, I need to take it from the field, take it from the storage, and then get it into oil form or isolate form or whatever form they're going to do. But you have to have a brand. And my thought is you have to have a brand to go with that. When we talk about vertically integrated, are you talking all the way through brand, all the way to the store? Is that to me, that's vertical?
Yes, that is vertical integration. The only thing is that what you are describing is what that is the reason because I said that this is a fantastic and a perfect way to put yourself in trouble. So you just told me that it will take me 3 years to become a profitable and well-managed grower, right? So why do you think you could become a profitable and a well-managed extractor in less than 3 years? Why would you think that you will be able to become a profitable and well-run manufacturer in less than 3 years? Or to even worse, to develop a solid base for a brand in less than that time? yes, you are a small farmer, but if you are a small farmer and later you need to invest in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to run your equipment or your extraction equipment, and it's an extraction equipment that you will very likely need 1 or 2 years to really, really master and to become comfortable saying, I am as good extractor as I am a farmer. From there, you need to take it to manufacturer. And having a brand is a complete different thing. Corey, do you know Tropicana juice, right? Well, Tropicana doesn't own a single. Tropicana doesn't own a single orange grove or whatever you call it, an orange field. And the reason because they don't own it is because they are not in the business of growing plants. They are growing oranges. They are in the business of selling orange juice. So if you're a grower, you need to stay focused on doing the growing and doing well. Do you want to expand into something else related with growing? Well, there is a lot of specialized niche additional things that you can do as a grower without running into a complete separate business as becoming an extractor. And a good example of that is you. You now have this little other business in which you plant seeds, right? And hemp, how it is called?
The mobile seed start line, yes.
Yes. So you expanded from growing to something else that adds a significant amount of value without necessarily reinventing yourself and running into a completely different business, right? So that is the way that expansion should be done, beside the most obvious thing about, well, please do not plant 200 acres of something if you don't have a market for it and if you have not done it before. Corey, are you there?
Yeah.
You are breaking up, Corey.
I see it as diverse.
Corey, you are breaking up very badly. Corey, if you are there, you are breaking. You went completely quiet. Hey, if anyone is listening, I'm not sure if Corey seems that Corey cannot.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, great.
Someday when I get back in the 21st century and I can actually have good internet. Sorry, I don't know. I'm sorry, everyone. I dropped the call and had to come back in. So, did you keep everybody entertained, David?
I didn't say anything bad about you, so it's okay.
That's okay. That's all right. Anyway, so I don't know where we left off. You want to go ahead and start? You can go ahead and continue starting. We'll just continue the show here.
What was the last thing that you hear? Because I'm not sure if what I
talking
said.
About, you know,
Go ahead. And you're out.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. So you were saying.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I was saying, so that we're talking about vertically integrating, which let's take a farm. Let's scale this up. Let's say the guy 300 acres. Then it's super important that he aligns himself with the extractor, and then the extractor should have, if he's avenues of retail. And I say, but whole outlets for that. So we talk about fully integrated. I see that as you have the farmer, and whether or not the farmer has his own extraction, that's a bigger scale than what we're talking about. But when you have, you need to pull these things together. Everybody needs to work. If you don't have an avenue for your end product, whether you're a farmer, extractor, or even the retail side, if you don't have an outlet for whatever it is that you're producing, you're going to fail. That's my take on it.
Absolutely, Corey. But the thing is that you don't need to own every step of the supply chain. You are a grower, and you work, and on becoming a very efficient, well-managed, profitable grower. And your product have the greatest quality that you can offer. The extraction is done by the extractors, the guy that spend all the money and time and training on running those extraction machines. And then you have a partner that is in charge of the manufacturing and maybe depending in which state you are, they can connect you with the distribution channel. It's exactly the same thing that I was telling you about Tropicana juice. Tropicana doesn't own the trees. They don't own they have more than 100 different farmers coming from, I think, 500 different fields. But they don't care about all the struggles of whoever is growing those oranges, because that is not their business. Their business is you grow and I make the orange juice. Well, then with cannabis and hemp is exactly the same. You need to identify which are your core competencies. This is what is that you do, and you do it well, and you are profitable, and you have experience, and you are planning to be here in the long term, and that is what you do, right? And that implies that you don't plan or grow more than what you already have contracts for. That if this is the very first time that you are growing a specific type of hemp, you don't decide that, well, I will grow 300 hectares of this. It's just a matter of doing things right. But if for any reason you decide that, well, I want to keep expanding, well, then you, instead of moving away from your area of expertise, what you do is you start drilling deeper. Again, this is and a perfect example is what you did, your own business, right? You are in hemp, you want to expand, but instead of actually buying $5 million in equipment to do extraction, that is something that you have no idea how to do, that you will take 2 years to actually learn and find the market and the distribution and all that other thing, you just decided to start working with seeds and to offer seedlings, which is drilling deeper into your core competencies, that is all related to growing.
It was a logical transformation for us. We had the seed line. We bought the seed line last year, and I just saw, my partner Rick. He says, we should put this on a trailer, and a light bulb. I mean, it literally exploded above my head, and I went, "That's a great idea." The competition for providing genetics this year is I can say on fire. It's probably one of the hottest markets right now is genetics. I put out that request for 20 million seeds, and my inbox has probably got 30 different people wanting to sell me genetics. So it was just a good transition right over into providing a service to that. So Hey, so let's pivot a little bit away from the integrated thing. I'm reading here. Talk about your canine, your CBD for canines. Tell us more about that.
Let me just clarify the very first thing. LotusTopia is a California-based company. It's a canine wellness company. We are not a CBD company. We are not a cannabis company. We are a wellness company that serves canine and their humans, and we utilize cannabinoids as main ingredients. This difference is very, very important, because when you say I have a CBD line of medicine for dogs, where is the core focus? What you really comes to mind? This is a CBD product that does something to dogs. That is not the company that we are. We are a company that focus on wellness of the dog. This is Corey. Do you have dogs?
I do.
Corey?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever struggled with any major condition in a dog?
No, he's young. He's 1 year old. He's a youngster. So as they get older,
I can tell you this.
Where people are looking for CBD
I can tell
products.
you this. Anyone that has or ever had a sick dog, this really hits very close home. Having a sick dog when you have a really good and healthy relationship with your dog is in one way or other having a member of your family being sick. So by bringing all the medicinal and wellness properties of cannabinoids to resolve basic common health issues with dogs, we are helping dogs, and we are helping the people that own those dogs. And it just happened that we are focusing on using cannabinoids as main ingredients. And why are we not a CBD company? Because, as you know, truly medicinal properties of cannabinoids come when you put them all together, right? Putting isolate in a bottle of oil does very, very little to humans and very, very little to animals. What you want to do is to put the right ratios and the right forms of THC, CBD, terpenes, flavonoids, minor cannabinoids in acidic forms. It is doing the right science in order to create the right formulations, and having a real commitment about this, putting the real research and the real science behind that. That is what I spent several years doing in the past before I entered into the cannabis company. I am bringing my experience from the nutraceutical industry, producing and formulating plant products into the veterinary space, which, let me tell you, is an amazingly large space that I am fully expecting to you will see that it will explode 2020, 2021.
I totally agree. I think that the canine and pet market and the hemp industry is very large, and it's going to only get bigger. I know this because how much money I spend on my dog, and I'm not even spending money on CBD products. So I can see that market being just as big as the human market almost.
And if you ask me, and I hope I will not step in anyone's toes, but nobody really should be buying CBD products. Everybody needs to start looking into full spectrum, include cannabinoids, formulations that include all the goodness within the plant, instead of a single isolated molecule diluting in some carrier.
Including THC. It's the entourage effect.
Yes, different ratios work differently in different people from different conditions, and include all these other components that you saw the notes that I has been publishing. Well, now CBG is exploding, and you will see that at some point, all the acidic forms of cannabinoids will start moving into the front line, and people will really start understanding that having one single molecule or a plant that have a very unbalanced ratio of cannabinoids serves very specific but unlimited objectives. When you are talking about wellness, when you are talking about, look, if what you need is very high dose of THC for a specific pain or for a specific medical condition, man, I'm not here to say anything against that. If you need very high levels of THC for your specific condition, absolutely. But if you are talking about wellness, preventive medicine that helps to increase the overall health of yourself or your dog in particular, the way to go is full spectrum. And this is including everything, minors, acidic forms, terpenes, flavonoids, everything. And good responsible science. Good responsible science when you can certify that these products are formulated, bottled, and sold in the absolutely right way.
Hey, David, what's going?
But I don't want to. But I don't want to keep talking about this because I'm not here to pitch my company.
Oh no! It's what.
But thank you for asking.
It's interesting. The question that I have for you is the Canadian side of the country. There are you guys able to do research and sell products for canines and dogs and pets?
Absolutely not. But it's coming. You know that we have Cannabis 1.0, October 2018, where cannabis become legal. We start selling flower and very basic oils. We have Cannabis 2.0, October of 2019, when we start having beverages, solid concentrates, edibles, and Cannabis 3.0, which very likely will happen in the next 12 to 24 months, will include nutraceuticals and veterinary products.
Huh.
But right now you can sell some of these products in California. So I am very, very lucky of finding the partner that I found.
So that's why the California. That's why the California
exactly.
company then. Gotcha. It's amazing. It boggles my mind sometimes, in that our governments want to control something that is natural, a plant that really, if anything, it makes you want to sit down and eat a bag of chips, and then the medical side of it. It just boggles my mind how our governments just try to control this and have done a really good job over a long period of time. Although the noose is loosening on this industry. The cat's. I said it on another episode. The cat's been out of the bag a long time, and we're starting to see the loosening, and then the research comes into play. So. I appreciate all that you're doing as far as your research and your development and these kinds of things. I think it's happening, and there's people that are in need of it.
Yes, and the whole thing is amazing, Corey. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not something coming from an obscure website. Go to Google search patents, the U.S. government owned patents on cannabinoids for specific medical applications, right? So wherever they actually produce a final product as a medicine and they did clinical trials on them, very likely this never happened, but they know that cannabinoids have a very specific potential to address very basic and serious health problems. On the other hand, you have what we have hearing for the last 3 or 4 months, about all what's happening with the markers of opioids. How is that they spend hundreds of millions of dollars pushing these pills everywhere in the U.S., causing the death and disintegration of hundreds of thousands of people, the disintegration of families and societies, whole little towns that were destroyed by the opioid pandemic, and tell me if anyone is in jail, because last time that I checked, none of the really big guys that are responsible, that invest and did all these things, are being persecuted. What will happen is that they will put a whole bunch of money in some bank, and they will accept no responsibility, a couple of slaps in the hand, and business as usual.
A few doctors got pinched for overprescribing, but other than that, the guys that actually made the drug, they made their billions, and away they go. So it's a little frustrating. Don't get me started on the government, but it's a little frustrating that our government, holds these patents and is going to, the hammer will come down at some point, and the government will say, well, we own the patent for this. We're going to take it from you and give it to one of the big pharmas to exploit. So that's my take on it. One right, wrong, or indifferent. Well, you know what? I think I'm looking through our notes here on what we were going to talk about, and we ended up kind of spinning off on the. I think I'm going to change the title to fully integrated thoughts and processes. And definitely, I'm glad we talked about the canine stuff and the pet market, because that's an interesting market in itself. In fact, if you can, we should do another show talking just straight canine and the pet market. I think that'd be a good show.
Absolutely, I'd really, Corey. This is one thing that I really want to be clear here. The canine market is a fantastic market to be in. You guys in the U.S. have an excellent opportunity to do this right. But as sad as it sounds, what will happen, and this is actually happening right now, is that if you Google in Amazon CBD products for pets, you will find a whole bunch of things that are nothing more than poorly formulated things of isolate into some sort of carrier, put poorly into a bottle in the garage of someone. You need to start recognizing the difference between but you need to start recognizing the difference and starting to ask the same type of, we want better quality all across the manufacturing process for veterinary products in the same way that that we do it for humans. And this is an opportunity that I had a great chance to explore, because as I said, in Canada we cannot do this. I feel very, very fortunate to finding the opportunity to do this together with Alex Kosushin, the CEO of LotusTopia, that actually he brought me to the company and explained to me, okay, this is happening with dogs, the opportunities here. And to be honest, I was not really aware of how big the opportunity is and how important cannabinoids are for animals, and how many well-documented cases are of the life of dogs being changed for the better thanks to cannabinoids. So this is something that is happening.
I think we should do a show on it. Give it.
If everything goes okay, in a couple of if everything goes okay, in a couple of quarters, my product will be outside in the market, and we can come and revisit the issue. Corey, thank you very much for having me.
I think let's definitely do that. When your product comes online, let's have you back on the show. Does that sound like a deal?
That sounds like a deal. Corey, are we expecting any questions for the audience, or we just call it a day?
I think we just call it a day. I think unless you've got some questions that you'd like to, put out there and then answer them, I don't have that. That would be my. I need to do some little bit better prep on for questions. But this, unfortunately, David, this is over my head, and so I struggle with it. So just having you on helps me learn. So that's kind of why I wanted you to come on, so I can learn about the side that I'm not very good on.
Corey, I'm not telling you how to do this, but if you are too busy and this is not your cup of tea, just hire someone to help you. I am pretty sure you will find someone that will love to do this and will rock the whole thing for you.
Yeah, but I have to learn myself. So I mean, having you come on, learning a little bit about this, and we got to talk a little bit about farming, so I like that. But yeah, I think there's a group of people, a segment of people that are interested in this thing. So no, I appreciate you coming on, and I most definitely want you to come back on when your product launches. So I want to hear about it.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Corey.
Thank you, sir.
Take
Have
care.
a great day. Talk soon. Thank you.
Same to you. Bye-bye now.
Bye. All right, guys. That wraps up our show here. Dr. David Galvez was on, Chief Scientific Officer, a gentleman with lots of knowledge, it's way over my head. But as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, this is a pretty rough show. I don't edit anything. It's all live. So from what I'm hearing and what I'm gathering from the audience is that they enjoy the unedited version of something like this. So if you're listening to this part of the show, I appreciate you staying on. If you'd like to be on the show, hit me up with an email at radio@hemplogic.com, and let's see if we can get you and your product or your process on the radio. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I appreciate you guys listening. Take care.